Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to 12 News at 6. You're about to meet a group of Arizona voters known as the Double Haters, and they could decide who wins the presidential vote in our battleground state.
NBC News recently put together an Arizona focus group of double haters as part of their Deciders series on key swing states in the November election. 12 News journalist Bram Resnick watched the focus groups and has some top takeaways. But Bram, first, let's start with the title. I thought Mark and I were the only double haters, but what exactly does double haters mean?
You're going to be hearing a lot about double haters as we head into November. Voters' behavior changes from election to election. 2 years ago, we were tracking negative partisans, voters who picked a candidate based on their intense dislike of the other candidate. You can see where this is going. This year, double haters don't like either of the presidential candidates. NBC News Washington correspondent Yamiche Alcindor told me that double haters matter in an election likely to be decided by just a few thousand votes.
So what we're looking at here is whether or not either one of these candidates sort of can benefit from maybe trying to convince a double hater, hey, I know you don't like either one of us, but I'm the better person for you.
The Deciders Double Haters focus group was made up of a dozen Latino voters from Arizona. Here's what we learned from them. They've soured on President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, but they prefer Trump's border policies. Abortion rights are a top concern, and a third-party candidate like RFK Jr. is a definite option. On the border crisis, the #1 issue for many voters.
Both parties are to blame. They want undocumented people here on both sides.
There was little support for former President Donald Trump's policies among these Latino Arizona voters.
So former President Trump has pledged mass deportations if he becomes president again.
I may not know anyone personally or directly, but I feel like it's going to affect all of us deeply.
Biden's more to blame because he's been a politician for over 40 years.
But the group believe that President Joe Biden can't get the job done.
They believe that the President Biden, that he's just not taking it seriously enough, that he's let the situation unravel.
The conversation revealed wide support for Arizona's proposed constitutional amendment to protect abortion rights.
And I believe a woman has a right to choose. It may not be my personal belief. I wouldn't have an abortion, but I'm not going to take someone else's right away from them.
For example, like gun rights, like whether you agree with it or not, I believe that it's a right. Same thing with abortion. I think it's a right.
NBC's Yamiche Alcindor told me abortion rights could sway these double haters' pick for president.
And I should say, because we've done a number of these focus groups, abortion continues to be one of the top issues that people say will motivate how they vote.
But these voters remain in the market for other presidential options.
Imagine the election is tomorrow and it's 5 candidates that you can choose from in Arizona. These 5. How many of you would take RFK Jr.?
4 of them chose third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His Spanish-speaking skills were a selling point with these Latino voters.
And obviously he's not fluent. You can tell he has an accent, but I mean, that's the point he's trying.
It really just shows you that there are people that are just unhappy with both of these candidates and looking for someone else.
So kind of like who you hate less. How valuable, Bram, is a focus group when we can look at polls that survey hundreds of voters?
That's a really good question, Mark. These focus groups put a voice, a face, and an explanation on the numbers. You hear these voters wrestle with their choices, conflicted over abortion rights, conflicted over Trump, Biden, and the border. The eye-opener for me, though, was the appeal of RFK Jr. to Latinos. He speaks Spanish. Also, I'll say it's heartening to hear people discuss their vote like adults. Mark Caribe?
Civility.
Yes.
What a concept. Bram, thanks.
All right, thank you, Bram.